Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to start our exploration of the studio habits of mind, or basically how creative people roll. The studio habits of mind were developed by Harvard University, and basically they describe what creative people do on a regular basis. So what we're going to start doing is each week we're going to study a new habit. I left this slide up here for you guys just to kind of review each of them, but you don't have to worry about all of them right now. This week's particular habit of mind is envision. And when you envision something, you're picturing ideas and planning the next steps. Now, the good thing is that we've already done this. We've been envisioning since the beginning. Every time you guys do a planning sheet, you're envisioning, you're thinking of different ideas and planning out your next steps. So some of the questions that you can consider would be like, what will your subject matter be? What media or materials are you going to use? How long it might take you to do this? Do you want to work independently or collaboratively? What kind of problems might you encounter? So this artist right here is Natalie Maybach, I believe is how you say her last name. She is a good artist to give you guys an example of how to envision. Basically, she was at an astronomy class at Harvard University, and she was struggling to understand the concepts because she was a tactile learner. That means that she learned by touching and doing things. And well, you can't really do that with space and stars and math data, right? So she began by taking this scientific data and turning it into three-dimensional artwork, primarily basket weaving. And that helped her understand the concepts in her science classes. And she took that and just ran with it. And now today, go back. Okay, so today she takes data from extreme weather events like hurricanes or typhoons and turns them into artwork and musical scores. So if you guys want to learn more about her, you can click on these blue links. And this one takes you to her website, and this one takes you to a Vimeo recording of one of the scores that she did with music. It's I believe, a cello concert. So what I would like you guys to do is use your imagination. I want you to think of either an existing product, thing, object, or artwork, or something that doesn't exist that you think should exist, that you believe that you can either create or improve. And then you're going to answer the questions to the right about this item. Okay, you're going to answer those questions on the last slide of this presentation. Also on that last slide, I want you to insert a picture of a sketch or use Google Draw to make a sketch or an image of your vision. So I've included two examples on the next two slides for you. Notice on these examples that I made some notes and some mistakes on spellings. And it's not like the best perfect drawings ever, so it doesn't have to be perfect. In the envision stage, it's okay to make mistakes. So the questions I want you to consider is, what if? And then the second one is possible problems you may encounter. And the third one is the next steps in realizing your vision. So here's my first example. The first example is envisioning a new product. So I have always been bothered by people that quote unquote ride their brakes when they're driving. That means they kind of hover over the brake and tap it over and over and over again. And you think that they're coming to like a complete stop, but really they're just tapping their brakes. It makes me crazy. And when you guys learn how to drive, you'll probably understand a little bit more of what I'm talking about. So I've always wondered if taillights could somehow tell you how hard somebody is braking. All right. Are they slamming on the brakes? Are they just tapping the brakes? Are they just, doing a regular slow, steady stop? Okay. So I thought maybe we could do different colors for how hard they're tapping or how hard they're pressing on the brakes. Or maybe like the brakes could flash, like the faster they're flashing, the harder they're braking. So I thought of a couple different options, but some problems could be, number one, how could we transition to a new braking system smoothly? I mean, to get everybody on board and to get car manufacturers to all be on board to include this. I mean, that would almost take a new law. And then if I did different colors, what about people who are colorblind? Then I thought about how that people are colorblind. How do they know when the light changes? But now I just realized saying this out loud that you know that the light changes by the order. Anyways, so the next steps, if I really wanted to pursue this, I would have to research how car regulations are changed and introduced. I would have to research current brake light patents, like maybe somebody already has done this. And I should probably continue brainstorming different ideas. Okay, so that's one example. So you can be creative in creating new products. It doesn't have to be just artwork. The second example is from a work of art. Okay, I thought, what if I did a series of artwork honoring my mother? I have lots of really old photographs like this one of my mom, starting from when she was really young until all the way through her life. I wanted to do something in oils. So possible problems I may encounter, and this is problems that I encounter when doing any artwork, is will my skills match my vision? In other words, can I make what I see in my head come out on the canvas? And will I really capture her true character? I wanted to honor my mother, so I want to show people, I want to communicate to people what kind of person my mother is. So the next steps in realizing my vision, I need to practice oil painting techniques because I've painted one oil painting my entire life. I can do this by watching videos, reading on it, experimenting, making mistakes. I can also, for the second one, will I capture her true character? I can ask people that know my mother to review my artwork and see if I'm actually representing her true character, her true self. So those are two examples. Now it's going to be your turn. I want you to answer the questions and turn this presentation into Google Classroom. I have assigned a copy of each one of, everybody has their own copy of this presentation. So you can go ahead and directly edit on your copy, okay? And then turn that into Google Classroom. I am going to be making a separate video on how to do that because from the feedback that I got from you guys, a lot of you don't understand.